I'm super excited and so grateful that you're here. I started this podcast so we could have some conversations that would hopefully help turn the messy into healing. If that idea sounds good to you, you must be a pathfinder too. Let's get started. Okay, hi, this is Jillian Castle with this new podcast craziness called Talks Too Much. And this is one of the new sessions I'm trying to do called Let's Talk It Through, the behavior sessions. Real quick, for those listening that don't know my background, my academic background is in educational psychology and behavior. I studied applied behavioral analysis. Many people say, oh, yeah, I know what ABA is, and they only know what discrete trial training is. And that's just where you sit at the table and do this back and forth thing. A lot of therapists do that in schools and at home when you ask for behavior services. That's not applied. I mean, that's only one very small part of applied behavioral analysis. I studied all of it, and I specialize and am certified in positive behavior support, which is more of a formula that's applicable to all situations. I kind of want to teach what I've been trying to do is I'm going to do episode 1 in the behavior series where I'm going to actually teach the formula to everybody. And then what I want to do with these sessions, the Let's Talk It Through sessions, is take that formula and then apply it to different scenarios to watch it be applicable. So that way people get the formula. So when I was younger and Anthony got diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy as well as autism, we had a lot of behavioral challenges. And this was 23 years ago, so no one really understood the connection between behavior and Duchenne. And even behavior and autism, there wasn't a ton of support out there. And so I was fortunate enough to have an amazing behaviorist come into my home and humbled me greatly and taught me everything I needed to know. And I was so inspired by that. And there was not a lot of resources that I went out and I pursued for the next few years, education in that area. And I've been working in that area ever since. So we'll talk about more about that. But we were having a conversation about our kiddos' behavior. And I said, please do this with me. I've been asking people to do this with me. No one has been brave enough to do it, which I totally get. But I want people to see how this works, and maybe more people would be open to trying this with me so we could help other people. So
Yes.
Ray, why don't you're so awesome, and
Thank you.
so
So are you.
grateful that you're doing this. So why don't you just tell me a little bit about your background and who you are so everyone can get some context.
So I'm Ray. My son is Jace. He's 11 years old, and we were diagnosed 2.5 years ago with Duchenne, and it all started from behavior. It's how it all began. So now that we've gone down this road for 2.5 years, all it's been about is Duchenne, but we still have not done anything or figured anything out about the behavior part. So I loved your seminar that they did at PPMD, and I loved everything that you said. And I definitely want to learn more so I can try to get things in a happy place in our home and at school.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I mean, so first of all, I was so excited to become a behaviorist because I thought I was going to help all these people. And I have. I teach at the Teachers College, and I've been in a ton of schools working with teachers, and I've worked in a lot of family homes, and I've done this for years. But the tricky part about behavior is that, and I understand because I was there, every parent takes it personal. So the minute I say behavior, first of all, people assume that's bad. You must be talking about bad behavior. That's not what behavior is, neither good nor bad. Behavior is communication. And that one key thing, if you can say that mantra over and over, behavior is communication, it will completely change how you look at behavior from everyone around you. This isn't just your kids, this is everyone and yourself, right? You are just trying to communicate a need. That's it. That's what behavior is. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent, doesn't matter. So that's one thing I want to start out by saying. The other thing is it would be really difficult because I would sometimes get clients and I would teach them the behavior principle, which, by the way, is scientific. This isn't advice by Jill. This isn't, we think this might work. This is science. This is behavioral science. It's a formula that we know works. I've had a lot of people say, well, it doesn't work, or it only works in certain circumstances. No, it works. It's about the fidelity that that's followed,
Right.
which is nearly impossible. So let's get that right out there. So does it always work? Yes. If you followed it 100% with fidelity every time, yes, it's going to work. Who in the world can do that? Because we take in our own garbage, we take in baggage, not garbage, sorry, our own baggage, and we take in our own personality stuff, and we take in interpersonal relationship dynamics, and we take trauma, we take all kinds of other things into consideration. So, is it just easy as following a formula? Of course not. Of course not. But
No.
are things going to greatly improve if you learn the formula and learn how to apply it and have a deeper understanding of what's really going on? Absolutely. So, what I wanted to do this, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this was to show people that it isn't personal. The number one mistake that all teachers and parents make, that all of us make, all of us, is that we immediately take behavior personal. And when you have a kiddo with a lot of behaviors, it gets scary. And your first inclination is to get it under control because you feel afraid. Like teachers, they have that one kid that acts out, they're afraid it's going to spread like wildfire. Parents feel like they're out of control, makes them feel bad about themselves, makes them feel like they're a bad parent. So, enough of my introductory stuff. If you want to know more about that kind of thing, the first episode, I'm going to do a whole why you need to know behavior thing. So, basically, all humans, not just our kiddos, but every human does things for three or four reasons, right? Some people break it down to two. I like four, and I'll explain why. So, one is the two reasons is to get something or avoid something. But then there's a third reason called sensory, which I'm going to break that down. Okay. But to get something, I break down to two because sometimes they'll say attention, or sometimes it's a tangible item or to go somewhere, to get something, right? The attention can just be thrown into that category, but I really like to separate it out because I hate when people say kids are doing this to get attention. It rubs me the wrong way because I've been in the school districts long enough, and it has a negative connotation. It sounds like it's a bad thing that your kid wants attention. So I have changed that word in my practice to connection. So I would say they're either trying to get connection slash attention, they're trying to get something tangible, they're trying to avoid something that's painful or discomfort for them, or it's sensory. And we're going to
Mhm.
talk about how they all look different and how they apply. So, the first thing I want to do with you, because I really want to drill home how people learn to look at function. So, talk to me a little bit about some of his what, and I'm sure there's a lot of behaviors. We're going to take the top three today, like the biggest ones. And what's the biggest one that causes the most struggle and strife in your family? Like, if you could nail it down to like one thing he always does that is really causing havoc, like if I could fix one thing.
I guess it would be him screaming and just losing complete control, even out in public. And there is no way of bringing him back, no matter we've done everything. We can
Hmm.
do the positive parenting, the sweet talking, the threatening, the yelling. It does not matter. He loses it, and the whole entire place will be staring at him. He does not care. And you can't bring him back. So that is our biggest issue. And we do not know what to do anymore.
Okay,
We
great.
usually just stand there and we just let him do it while
Yeah.
everyone stares at us.
Yeah. Well, that part's actually good. Okay.
Oh.
So let me tell you. So, first of all, let me ask some questions. So, he has a meltdown, basically. Those are
Y-
meltdowns, right? He has a
Yeah.
meltdown and he goes
Yeah.
from 0 to 100.
fast.
Okay. So what we're going to start looking at is what happens before that. Okay? Is it for everything? Is that just his general way of coping when things aren't going his way? Is it when he's not getting something he wants? Is it when you're asking him to do something too hard or something that he doesn't want? Is it both or is it more one or the other?
I would say both. Like for example, I'm trying to think. We took my uncle out to lunch, and he wanted to order wings for the table. Well, I don't eat wings. My uncle said he didn't want wings, and he flipped out in that restaurant because nobody would eat wings. I mean, it was just very, very minimal. We're like, it's okay. Nobody wants wings, but thank you for offering wings. And you would have thought that we kidnapped his dog. I mean, it was a whole restaurant over wings. So we all ended up getting wings and everyone ate wings
Yeah.
just so he would chill out. So
Okay, so that's
minimal.
perfect. So first of all, I would say on a deeper level, it's not about the wings. Okay.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, our boys, as they lose control, like to try to control things. Their whole body,
Mhm.
their whole life is really out of control. They've got a lot of people telling them what to do. They've got doctors, they've got, you know, their body feels like it's, slipping and changing, and that might feel a little internally scary, and they can't even consciously put their finger on what's going on. Okay?
True.
That's
Yeah.
one. So there you will see a lot of extra trying to control things. So I'm going to solve this on a small picture for you, like what you would do in that instance. But right now, I
Hmm.
want to talk about the global picture since this is a global issue with him. Like he's doing this about everything. Okay.
Yes.
So for starters, the big picture changes need to be every time you have an opportunity from now on to give him control in a situation that won't impact the goings on. So every little opportunity you have to give him choice, to let him be in charge and to give him control, start doing that
Okay.
in scenarios that you can comfortably do that. You can even fabricate some of those scenarios where, what do you think? Where do you think we should go to dinner? What are you craving? You know, from the get go. And say, well, these are the three places we're thinking about. Why don't you make the final decision? So there are things within your control. You're not going to just let him traipse you all over town. Here's the thing, the other big thing. A lot of
Hmm.
our boys have bad behavior too. Bad. I shouldn't say that. I just got done lecturing why we don't say that. A lot of our boys have maladaptive behavior that doesn't work because internally, as moms, we feel sorry for them.
Agreed.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
going to get into that deep stuff with you later because that is like permeating the underlying theme here. So that's going to have to eventually be our solution there. But I'm going to give you the quick and dirty too, so that you know what to do while you're trying to fix this bigger issue of feeling sorry for them, right? So we feel sorry for them, so we end up giving into them a lot more than you would a typical kid, right? Like
Right.
these boys end up running the show. They really do. I see it with kids with ADHD. I see it with kids with autism. One, because we can't cope because we're exhausted. And then the second reason is because deep down we kind of feel bad for them. So
Yeah.
those two things are allowing you to kind of let them run the show. And I will say this, kids do not feel safe when they are running the show. They may act a little better because they get to be in charge of everything, but ultimately, deep down, they need you to be the safety. They need to know that there's boundaries. They do not at first, they'll throw a fit, but eventually they do feel safer with structure and boundaries. Okay. So I'm
Right.
not talking about letting him run the show anymore. In fact, that's got to stop. Okay. But what I am talking about is powerful choices that he gets to make under your terms. And at his age 11, the littles, you always give three choices or two choices. Always. That's the easiest
Hmm.
thing with the littles because developmentary, that's where they are, right? This or this. What do you want? And you give them your two choices. And sometimes that looks like We do it this way or we don't do it at all. Those are your two choices, but either way, they've got a choice and you're showing them they're making choices. So with him, this to start working on his behavior, these things have to start before you go to dinner. They don't start at dinner when you're trying to put a band-aid on something that's already happening. You've got to
Okay.
think ahead. I know you're exhausted. I know I'm asking a lot, but by thinking ahead now, you are going to make things easier for yourself down the road. So this is going to be a lot more work on the front loading, but you're going to get more relief and you're going to see positive results, which is then going to fuel you to continue to try this. Okay. So
Hmm.
so dinner, or if he's always melting down that everyone doesn't do what he wants, you start in big things like that out with him having some choice in what you do. So if that conversation would have started, are you craving something special? Is there something special you want to do? Yeah, I want wings. It might have come out that that was what he was wanting in the first place. It might not have. It might be a power play once you get there, for sure. But if you
Hmm.
get that information beforehand, you and your family can decide, do we don't want to eat wings, is there something else we can eat on the menu, but is this worth letting him have this power choice so he feels like he's got a piece of this, right?
Right.
And so that's one idea, is if you're always kind of looking ahead and involving him in the choices, and again, they can be your choices. We're thinking this place and this place, which place would you rather go to? you know Again,
Yeah.
he's not running the show. He just really
How's
gets
a
to
choice?
feel, yeah, he really gets to feel heard. He really gets to feel like he's got some power in this situation. So that's one. On a bigger level, you're going to start giving him more choices and more power in the choices. Number two then is that when he doesn't get his way, there is zero tolerance for that, right? So,
Yeah.
but you mentioned in the beginning talking nice, positive parenting. I hate all that because that's not what I'm talking about. And I get a lot of dads that are like, you're saying to positive behavior support is just letting him do what he wants. No, it's about being effective. This is strategy. This isn't just giving him what
Right.
he wants at all. That is the least of what I'm saying. And it's not positive, sweet bullshit either. It's not. And it's also not yelling and it's not screaming. And what happens is we do one or the other because we
Yeah.
go with him from here to here.
It
So
gets
we're actually
crazy. Yeah.
training. Yeah, we're training that trajectory. Well, I don't get it here, so I'm going to get it here. So I'm just going to go straight to this because this is what works.
Hmm.
Okay. We're going to teach him gray. We're going to teach you gray, like a negotiation. Okay.
Okay.
And they're always negotiations on your terms. And you'll get some old schoolers that'll be like, we shouldn't have negotiate with an 11-year-old. Okay, well, you can say that, but what's effective? Is the way you're doing it working?
No.
Probably not. So just
No.
give my way a try. Okay. So it looks more like if you're at the restaurant, it's too late. You didn't do the preliminary groundwork. You didn't set this up for success beforehand because you're
Hmm.
tired and you're late and you don't care and whatever. And you just go like a normal parent, especially in your situation. So you're there and he says, I want wings. Okay. Well, we don't want wings. That's okay. No big deal. Can now, the need is to have control, is what the need is. To need is to connect with you and enjoy something together. That's the real need that I hear,
Yeah.
not wings. But if he's going to put it all on wings, let's go with that. You know, okay, they have a small appetizer of wings?
Uh, no. I even said he can do that as his meal instead of an appetizer, and it still wasn't good enough. I would say there was 8 on that plate, which was a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. And so he was upset that he couldn't just get wings or that everybody wouldn't get wings. Or did he
Yeah.
just want wings?
No, we didn't want wings.
Right.
So I said, no, we're not getting the appetizer wings because it's just you eating the wings. And then I said, you can have it as your meal. And then, oh my God, yeah, it
Okay.
just went
So
crazy.
so with oppositional kids, try to stop framing anything as a no. Okay.
Okay.
Let's be clear in case this gets edited wrong. I am not saying don't say no to your kid. I'm saying say no without using the word no. because they hear the word no and they shut down and they just hang on to what they want to hang on to. They're not even gathering anything else you're saying.
Yeah.
So it ends up looking like, sure, you can have wings. Absolutely, buddy. Wings are awesome. I love wings. You can have the appetizer. We'll get to the appetizer as the main dish. And if he says, oh, okay, great, because you might dupe him into that because you're like, yeah,
Okay.
that sounds great. We love wings. Or he says, no, I want wings and this other thing. Okay, cool. Well, maybe I can get this other thing along with what I get and you can have a part of mine. I mean, it's more about and it's fun. It's not kind talking like you were saying positive speech, but it is
Hmm.
positive and firm. So I believe in positive and firm. Like, yeah, we can do that. That would be really fun. Or how about we do this now and we get wings tomorrow? Or how about we take some wings home? How about we get that order of wings if you can afford it? Get that order of wings and you have a few and we'll take the rest home and we'll have them tomorrow for lunch.
Okay.
So we're talking about ways you can say yes to him that aren't compromising who you are, what you believe in, the situation. In other words, you have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying say yes to him all the time. I'll keep saying that over and over today because there are times where it's like, we're not going to do that, right? The wings thing sounds like there was some room for negotiation. You've just had it with all of this, right?
It was embarrassing. I mean, the whole restaurant was staring at me. I'm just like,
Okay. So, first of all, do you know why kids with autism always melt down in the grocery store?
no, I
Because
don't.
parents always change their parenting when other people are watching.
Mm, okay. All
It
right.
is
I could see that.
Yeah. So, and it's embarrassing. I get it. I've had to drag my kid out of so many restaurants.
It is embarrassing. Yeah.
Mhm. So, all the work we're doing is we're trying to get all of this up front so that that doesn't happen. Because once he gets in that zone, it's really hard to bring him back. Okay.
Definitely.
So, I want you to start focusing on the leading up to. You know, it's going to be a problem. You know, this is going to happen all day long. So, let's
Hmm.
start structuring it so it's not an issue, right?
Okay.
That's first. That's step one is look ahead. I'm not saying it'll solve all of it. I'm just saying it will cut down on a good portion of it. What's
Okay.
happening is what we focus on expands. So you now focus so much on the behavior that it's expanded. So we want to try to have more of the day where this is not our interaction. This is not what's happening all day long. Okay,
It's
because
exhausting.
we're stuck in the cycle. You're exhausted. He thinks now it's the only way he's going to get what he wants
Hmm.
because that's where we've gone. Okay. So it's going to take a little while to repair. The first thing I want you to do is plan ahead. If you see things that he always freaks out about, we want to set those up for success. Let him have a little bit of stuff in the first place. Make some boundaries in the first place. Like, hey, get him on a good spot where he's okay at home. Hey, dude, this restaurant thing seems to always be hard, and you always seem to freak out at the restaurant. And we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to
Okay.
go to restaurants if that's the way it looks. So I want to go to restaurants. You want to go to restaurants. We're going to practice fixing this. So, first of all, to you, start going to restaurants when it's you and him, or maybe a smaller group. Don't
Hmm.
just save these outings for really important family things because he knows he's got you. He knows
Yeah.
he's got you. You're in this really, it's a birthday party or it's a busy restaurant. It's all these circumstances where he knows he's got you.
And stimulation too, as far as,
Yeah,
all the stuff that's
we'll
going
get
on.
to the sensory part for sure. So
Yeah.
one, though, practice what I'm teaching you in smaller chunks in situations that don't matter.
Okay.
Because he is reacting, and we'll get into this later too. He feels everything you feel. You're going into this anxious, you know it's going to happen. You're stressed out. He feels all of that. He reacts to all of that. He just
Okay.
does. We're all connected. I don't care what anybody says. There's science, quantum physics to back me up on that. This isn't woo woo. This is science. Okay, we are all connected. He feels everything you feel. You're stressed now going into these situations because you know what's going to happen. He knows that. That's a lot of why he's doing what he's doing, because it's habit, it's programmed into his brain. He feels it. His central nervous system reacts that way because it's been taught to. Okay?
Right.
So practice going and be like, okay, what are you craving today? You can have some buy-in on where to go. You can say this family dinner you don't get to pick, but next week we're having a dinner and you get to decide where we go or whatever. Okay? So there's
Okay.
just some consideration in there about giving him some power and control when it's appropriate, so that when you tell him he can't have the power and control, it's a little more balanced, because right now
Right.
he's probably being told all the time he can't have it because he's going about it the wrong way. So, like,
Yeah.
everyone's shutting him down all day long, right? So, in his mind, he just has no power and control. So, we want to
Right.
start giving it back in circumstances that serve you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's easier to shut down. Okay, so you haven't done the pre-work, you're in the restaurant, you haven't started discussing, because it would be a discussion now on a good day, like, hey, we're going to start working on this restaurant thing. What do you think?
Okay.
I want to work with you. Let's figure out a way to get through dinners because we can't do this. And you can be firm and kind. We can't
Okay.
do this anymore. We can't go to restaurants anymore if this is what it looks like. I'm sorry, we just aren't. That's firm.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to compromise your good time for a little while to show him you mean business.
I'm down
I
for
mean, it
that.
may be one or two dinners that you leave, that you just leave, that you just up and leave and go home. That
Okay.
that may be a couple of times you may have to do that. So I suggest the next couple big dinners you do, you prep the family, you go to a place that you're okay taking them home from. I mean, you set yourself up for these lessons, right? You practice. We're going to go
Yeah.
practice, and then it will reprogram him to have a better experience. It will also show him if you have to take him home, you're not messing
Yeah.
around.
We're done.
No problem ending this dinner. I love you, buddy, but this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And you can be nice about it. You don't need to yell. You don't need to scream. They don't hear you when you scream anyway.
No, he does not. It
No,
doesn't matter.
right.
No.
And he's already activated. His central nervous system is already activated. He doesn't have a functional brain at that point. It's his
Yeah.
central nervous system has taken over. So
Yes.
rationale and yelling and it doesn't work. So at that
No.
point, you have nothing to do but remove him.
And it doesn't help for me to get angry as well because he's not even feeding. He doesn't care if I'm angry or not. All it
It's
does is
not
make
that he
things
doesn't
worse.
care. It actually later might evoke shame. And when that happens, then it's a cycle, because now it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, that
Because
that
now he
sucks.
feels even worse about himself.
Yeah. We took this doctor said, because she was talking about ADHD medicine, and she said, Jace, how do you feel when you act a certain way when you're yelling with your parents, you're out in public? And he goes, I feel bad because I know I'm making my mom and my dad angry. And I
Right.
was like, so he does see it. He
No,
is
he knows.
aware
He
that
knows.
he doesn't act like it when we're in the moment.
Right.
But that made me feel bad that he feels that
Yeah.
way.
So don't feel bad for him.
You
Take
already
it,
said that. Yeah.
take it as a clue. This is a clue as to how what I got now, what I got to work with. This is awesome.
Yeah.
He does understand.
Yes.
If it's ADHD we're looking at. Now, see, from my standpoint as a
I don't.
behaviorist, I don't really care. I don't care what you call it, because it operates the same for all of us, whether you got ADHD, whether you got autism, whether you got ODD, anxiety. I mean, to me as a behaviorist, I don't care that a whole lot about what you call it. I mean,
Right.
there are a little bit characteristics that are different, but it doesn't impact the formula. Okay.
Okay.
So we're looking at the need. I just still see the need to control, the need to uh, get a connection.
Hmm.
So start that before the dinner. Start that. Start working on that. Start giving him more control in the house. Start. I'm going to show you how to get him to have a more satisfying connection with you, because I'm going to talk to you about why that's a problem because of the state you're in right now. So
Okay.
there will be some exercises you can do that will get a better connection with him in small doses, so he feels more satisfied, so he's not so desperate.
Okay.
because that was a desperate act.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to
Agreed.
get him out of that desperate state. But in the meantime, you don't sit there with a kid that's freaking out in the rest. I mean, that's not okay. So we're going to just go ahead and go. And if he freaks out at the table, the next dinner you have with a couple people that are willing to help you with this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe did dinner or two with him alone or him just your immediate family. And then maybe when you start extending it, and this will only take about 3 or 4 dinners to get this down. I'm not talking about years of doing this. I'm just saying
Thank
you
God.
got to
Okay.
fabricate a few you got to fabricate a few experiences. And it doesn't matter if it's McDonald's or a 5-star restaurant. It doesn't matter. In fact, start with
Okay.
the place that doesn't matter, right? And then
Yeah.
work up to a nice place so he knows, it works both places. Okay. The people that you would take with you on this adventure, you would let them know that if he does not stop when you say, okay, we're going to go, and he says, I'm not going anywhere or whatever, the table gets up and leaves.
Okay.
And it can be nice and kind. It can be like, Chase, we love you so much. We can't wait to have dinner with you when you get this figured out. We love you, buddy. And they
Yeah.
leave.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
I'm telling you, it's only going to take you a few times. When he
Okay.
understands that you're not fucking around, and deep down, because he feels bad, deep down on a subconscious level, he's going to be so relieved that you're taking control back.
Okay.
An 11-year-old should never have that much control. It's too much responsibility for him.
I
He
agree
just
with that.
doesn't know it. So you got to take that back from him. So when you think about feeling bad for him, feel bad for him that he's got so much responsibility right now. That is
Okay.
yours. That's not his.
Got it.
Okay, you're the grown up.
Yeah.
You can do this. In fact, you're a warrior mom, so I know you can do this. All
I
right.
got it.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's one. So that's kind of the general plan that you're starting on something like that. Since
Okay.
it's always restaurants, since it's always public places, it's going to be the same way. People tell me they have trouble in grocery stores. I'm like, do you only go to the grocery store when you have a dinner party that night or your one day a week where you can do your weekly shopping? I mean, don't do that. There's too much pressure on the situation for them to be good.
Right. Girl, I get curbside. I don't even deal with any of that. So we're
Exactly. I mean, there
good.
are solutions. There are solutions. I'm just saying that's an example of where you could go practice. You know what I
Ah,
mean?
that's true.
You
Yeah.
can go to public situations and you prep him. Here's how I want it to go. What do you need out of this? What would
Mm-hmm.
you like out of this experience? What's important to you? Is it important everybody pays attention to you? Let's carve out some time where you can tell some stories. What are your favorite stories you want to share today?
Okay. That's
Because
doable.
you can have some time too. Can't have all
Yeah.
the time. They're just as important as you are. And that's
Yes.
the other message our boys don't get. We are just as important as you are. You may have more challenges, but we are all human beings and we all have a place in this world and we are just as important as you.
Right.
Things might be
That's true.
harder for you. They're harder for a lot of people. It's an unfair world.
It
I get
sucks.
it. I got love and compassion for that, but we are all important. So we're all
Agree.
going to take turns telling stories. So get your stories ready. So everything's ahead of time.
Pre-gaming.
Pre-game, you got to pre-game. You got to pre-game.
Got it. Got it.
Pre-gaming is everything.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's always going to go perfect, but you're more prepared, he's more prepared. And then when it doesn't go right, you've got a boundary. If you have a meltdown, and I'm going to teach you some strategies on the sensory system to calm things down and stuff like that, because you can't self-regulate. And so we're going to
Yeah.
start teaching them how to self-regulate because that's a big deal.
Okay.
And that'll go with if you decide to medicate, if you don't decide to medicate, either way, they don't have
I
emotional
don't know.
regulation. He's got to learn emotional regulation. Even if you medicate, it might help, but he's still got to learn emotional regulation.
Okay.
That's just a shortcut to help you for a little while. It's not the solution. Okay.
Okay.
So, anyway, you have this conversation beforehand. You're like, this is the deal. It's all good. You want connection? Oh, you want to connect with everybody? You want to be in charge of what we order? Okay, you can order the appetizer for everybody. If you say that, if you're using that as a reward, then everybody just put up with the wings for one night. If it makes the point that when he's good and does it
Right.
adaptively in a effective way, he can have what he wants. When he does it maladaptively, he can't. So it's like
Okay.
if he asks really nicely, "Oh, mom, I'd really like us all to have wings." For now, get the wings.
Okay.
Just set up dinner so everybody gets the deal. If he asks for it by yelling and screaming, you're not getting wings.
No, no wings.
Right, right. But if he says, "Well, what's really important to me is that I have wings. I've been waiting all week to have wings." Get the wings. You can
Okay.
do that. That's a small thing you can do. If it becomes a power struggle in that moment, it's probably not about the wings. So then, it's too late then to do anything but just take them outside. And you
Okay.
take them outside and, ah, babe, I see you are out of sorts. And always connect before you correct. So you might say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're feeling that way. When you get it together, let me know and we'll go back in.
Okay. All right. I could do that.
We're not going in this way. You're not sitting in a public place like this, but I totally get why you're out of sorts. Let's help you. Let's help you find some better ways to deal with this because, God, that must be uncomfortable. And I don't want to see you like that."
Okay.
Connect. He's looking for connection.
All right.
Doesn't mean you're sacrificing your boundaries.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Yeah. People are afraid to do that because they think it's given in. He's a human. He needs connection. He's got more challenges to connect with people than the average kiddo at 11.
Agree.
We need to find more circumstances and more positive times he can connect.
Yeah.
Not when, he's throwing a fit. It's like, buddy, I think, buddy, you want to connect to everybody, right? And this is just not the way that's going to work. I understand at this point you can't help it. Your body's out of whack. So let's just sit down and get back in our body and get calm. And then we can go back in and we can try to connect. We could talk about some stories you could tell.
Start over.
Okay. Do you
Got
got
it.
it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So try all those things on your biggest issue. It
Okay.
works in a restaurant, it works wherever you're going.
Okay.
Start doing that stuff. Now, the deeper root. Oh, actually, I'll start with the sensory thing before I pick on you. Okay. So the sensory thing, kids do everything to get something, to avoid something. Now, just real quickly for those that are listening, if he were trying to avoid something, if he throws these meltdowns when you're trying to put a task or something on him or finish your meal or this or you blah, 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 and he doesn't like the task or he doesn't like the control that you're putting on him or whatever the scene, if he's
Right.
throwing fits, then that looks different than what we just walked through. What we just
Okay.
walked through is a solution for if he wants something he can't get.
Okay.
Okay. Timeouts work great if you understand the function of a behavior. They actually reward a behavior if you have the function wrong. This is why it's so important to know function. I'll give you an example. If someone is trying to get attention, connection, and
Yeah.
or they're trying to get something and they're throwing a fit, if you give him a timeout, it might be effective. That's why I'm saying take him out of the restaurant. Let him get himself together. He's removed from that thing he's trying to get. He gets to go back to the thing he's trying to get when he gets it together.
Right.
That's the reward. It's a built-in reward.
Okay.
Basically, he can have whatever he wants when he's acting the way he's supposed to.
Chill out. Yes. Okay.
And he can't have what he wants when he doesn't.
Okay.
So he starts learning in his brain, I act this way, I get what I want. I act this way, I don't. That's got
Okay.
to be drill and kill that over and over and over till his brain gets, I act in this way, I get what I want. And make sure you go out of your way for the beginning. Every time he acts appropriately, give him what he wants as much as you possibly can. If he's asking for something that's not able to be done, you can promise it later, or you can say, after you do this. Like for him, a
Okay.
big thing is yes. You remember how I said try not to say no? Yes, you can have that after you do this.
Okay.
There is hardly anything we can say no to that we have to say no to. We just put a condition on it.
Right.
Yeah, sure. You can go to the park after you pick up your toys. You can after you finish your homework. Sure, we can get wings after you calm your body down. No problem.
Okay.
So you're using whatever he wants as the reward.
Okay. But he has to act a certain way to receive that.
Right. But you have to teach him what that way is. He does not know
Right.
that right now.
No, he does not.
So you
No.
do have to teach him what that way is that you want. Okay.
Okay.
But the philosophy is when he does what you're asking him to do, he gets what he wants as much as possible, unless he's asking for something that, but you can always like do a little bit of it, or you could do a version of it, or you could do it later, or what, like even if it's like, I want to go on a trip, we could at least start looking at the trip, planning the trip for next year. I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like there is a way to give him a little piece of what he's looking for.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing is if he's doing it to avoid something, none of that's going to work. So it's a different approach. That's why there's two things, right? Trying to get something. If he's trying to avoid something and you give him the timeout, you've just rewarded him.
Got it.
So that's why it's really important to know the function. Is he trying to get something? Is he trying to avoid something? Those are two
Okay.
different responses from you. So we have covered what to do when he's trying to get something and how to start working through that.
Okay.
If he's trying to avoid something, the best way to fix that is start breaking down the tasks into smaller things.
Okay.
So, hey, I want you to do your homework. I need you to do this page. And he throws a fit. You have to figure out what he wants. Sometimes a tangible item will work, sometimes it's freedom from the task. I had two different kids. So I had one kid that I would do, if you do three more problems, I'll give you a Matchbox car, whatever, for your collection,
Okay.
whatever. It doesn't have to be that extreme. I'm just making an example. I had another kid who could care less about stickers and all that BS. He didn't care about any of that. So he cared about freedom from the task. Most ADHDers do.
Right. Want to
I
be
have
done.
ADHD, and I'm telling you, we want our freedom. So in that case, it's like you do three more problems, I'll leave you alone.
Okay.
You do three more problems, you can take a 15-minute break and you can go play Mine Crack or whatever.
Yeah. Mind
Okay.
crack.
That's probably not a good one because you can't get them off it. So I would probably pick something else.
That is true.
If
That's a
it's something
whole
you
different
need,
story.
yeah, yeah. If you're something that you're needing him to return to the task, I wouldn't pick
Mm,
Mine Crack until the end, right? Because
yeah.
it's so hard to get them off that.
Like we had to get him off of Fortnite because he turns into, I mean, he's in there cursing like a sailor. He is saying the F this, F that. I'm like, oh
Right.
my God, what are you doing? You cannot speak like this. But
Okay,
he
great.
cannot.
So guess what? Fortnite,
Mm,
here's a couple opinions I have on that. Use it. Fortnite is now your reward. He doesn't get to just play Fortnite. He plays Fortnite.
no,
He plays it in very small increments for something big.
we let him do it on infusion nights, which is Wednesday. I mean, he has to do 2 hours of infusions. It's
Yep.
dramatic. We hate it.
Perfect.
So we allow him to play Fortnite, but getting him off of it, oh my God. And the
Okay,
cursing.
yeah. So first of all, start gathering information about things he likes just as much as Fortnite.
Okay.
So you got to have that in your pocket and ready to go. And
Okay.
whether it's a conversation or the actual thing or whatever. Also timers. I mean, I know he's
Timers.
11, he's not a little kid, but they ADHDers too, or people on the spectrum, whatever it is, we really have our time clock is broken.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a time clock like normal people. So 15 minutes doesn't mean a whole lot to us. I mean, I'm 57. It took me my whole life for me to figure out what 15 minutes means, right? So it's like, so you're going to need to do something to let him know at least. Now, I'm not saying he won't throw the fit, but if you do that every time, he will get better at time. He will understand that when you say it's done, it's done.
Right.
And that it could be honestly just shutting the server down or I mean,
Crazy.
yeah, but that's okay. And then when he throws the fit, you sit down with him and you connect before you correct and say, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I hate stopping things I love doing. But I did warn you about the time. I did tell you 3 times, whatever your deal was, you make a deal with him prior.
Agree.
You make a deal so he learns how to stick to his word.
Mm-hmm.
You have to teach him that. But you said Let him pick the time. How many minutes do
Okay.
you want a warning? 15 minutes and 5? Okay, cool. You picked that. I'm going to do what you said.
Okay.
And then you're going to get off it. Okay, right? Because he wants to get on it. So he's going to tell you whatever he wants.
Of course.
Okay. And you could even write it down on a board and make him sign it. Okay,
Okay.
you agreed to this. This is your plan. So then when you implement it, you got to be hardcore. You don't got to yell. You don't got to be mad. Again, practice this. Don't do this when he's got to go to bed because he's got to get up early, or don't do this when he's got homework, or don't do this when it's dinner time. You know what I mean? Like pick and choose
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon where you don't give a shit how long this takes,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
start
Makes sense.
practicing in those times where you don't have as much at stake.
Okay.
So it's like Saturday afternoon, he writes on the board. Maybe Saturday you weren't even going to let him play Fortnite, but you've got a Saturday, you slept good, you're feeling good. Let's do it. Let's practice this today. I
Okay.
feel like I can take this on. Okay. So we've got a new thing we're doing, buddy. So you're going to write down how I'm going to get you off Fortnite. You're going to sign it. Then you stick to it. You do it. And when he flips out, that's okay. You're going to let him flip out. And like I said, if you have to, you know, change the password or whatever you have to do,
Yeah. I
that's
think
what
it's
we're
more me
doing.
keeping my cool too, because when he starts calling me a, bitch, bitch, I'm like, who are you talking to, kid?
Yeah.
Are
And
you talking
we're
to
going to
me?
talk about that next. We're going to talk about your triggers, your trauma, what's happening with you, why
Yeah,
it's making it so hard to do this. Because I make it sound so simple, don't I?
you
And when
do.
you're in it, it's like,
I'm picturing Jace as you're saying that, going, no,
yeah.
he's
So
crazy. He's a
if
loony.
you have to turn your back, if you have to leave the room, if you have to make a deal with other people in your family to step in and do what you know needs to be done and you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. Because
Okay.
it's all about doing exactly what you said you're going to do. You have
Agree.
to. The other thing
Agree.
is if it's possible, you're doing it without any emotion. Now, that's a huge one, I know. I'm
It's
not saying
hard.
you're going to be great at that right away. You're not. But you can practice it. And when you see it, how effective it is, it'll reward you and make you want to do it more. Okay. And we're going to talk about
Okay.
how to get you well so that it's easier for you to do this, right? Because right
Right.
now you're in a trauma state, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So your central nervous system is having reactions you can't control. You can't emotionally regulate, but you're asking him to. Yeah, I
All
know.
right. That's a good. That's a good point. Yeah. Damn, that sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good
And I get
point.
it. No judgment from this camp. I still have
Yeah.
trouble doing it sometimes. Okay. Still, it's a practice. It's not a overnight thing. It's a
Okay.
practice. Some days you're going to do great, some days you're not. And then the next day you're going to start and try again. And eventually
Right.
you're going to rewire your brain and your central nervous system so it's easier for you to have that response. But it's going to have
Oh,
to be rewired because right now it's wired for fight, flight, or freeze.
right.
So we have to rewire it.
Agree.
So this is not a simple solution. But, if you turn off the thing and he flips out and starts calling you a bitch, the idea
Mm,
response. I'm not saying you can do it. I'm just saying the ideal from a behavioral science standpoint, your response is, yeah, I can see why you feel that way. Let me know when you want to talk to me in a nicer way. I love you, buddy. I'll be back. You work that out. You get your body calm. And
okay.
then later, it's like, yeah, you don't get to call me names. I mean, that's
No.
just not something I'm going to respond to. And if you're trying to get your way, that's not going to work.
Right.
That's how it looks behaviorally scientifically because he knows he
Okay.
doesn't have you.
Yeah.
Because right now he knows he has you. Like he's like you're a
True.
puppet and he's pulling your strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch. Literally.
Yeah. So we gotta get those strings separated so he can't control you anymore. Because he's just
Okay.
totally running the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it. Again, never, never. That's why people are afraid to do this with me because they think it's going to be about judgment or they're going to feel like shit about their parenting. Oh my God, we are all doing this. That's why I want to do this thing is because I want to do it together. Let's talk it through
Yeah.
because I get it. Oh, and I've done it all wrong. So yeah,
Well, and it's totally different than our first child. I mean, our first child, if he would have if you would have called us a bitch just like our parents would have, I mean, they'd slap us upside our face. That's how we
Right.
used to handle things back in the old days. But with Jace, it does not work. We tried that before he got diagnosed with Duchenne. We would spank him, we would ground him. It does not work on him. He's wired differently. So it's trying to teach ourselves the proper way to handle him. And we don't want to be like that, but we also don't want to be called names and him lose control like that. But at the same time, you make sense when we're losing control as well. When I can't handle my own, yeah, my own feelings when you're calling me a name.
And if you and him are connected, like I just said, according to quantum physics, you are, also
Hmm.
because he was in your body.
Yes.
So on a cellular level, you're literally connected. You don't think
Yeah.
he feels all of that?
He has to. He
Every
does
single
for
bit of it,
sure.
even if
He
you
knows.
fake it.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
we got to get you authentically better. But in the meantime, you can fake it till you make it. You can be like, yeah, I'm going to excuse myself because I don't do this.
Yeah.
But let me know when you're better, honey.
I feel like that's gonna piss him off.
Well, it's going to you are going to get what's called an extinction burst.
Mm,
And it's where the behavior gets really, really big and completely out of control right before it breaks.
right.
Because they are pushing, pushing, pushing to see, and they can't believe this is happening. And oh my God, they're going to push, 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 push. And then they're going to have a moment where they go, oh, this is no longer effective.
She's not dealing with it.
So
Right.
you have
Yeah.
to make that behavior ineffective.
Okay.
Let them have the extinction burst. Hopefully, you heard what I said, where you set up these scenarios at home on a Saturday where you
Yeah.
have slept, you have the energy, you have backup with you have your best friend over to help you through it, right?
Hmm.
And so you can get through that extinction burst because most parents fail because that's when they give in because they just can't take it anymore. And it's
Okay. I can do
about to
it.
break. It's about to
Yeah.
break.
I can do it.
Yeah, so you can do this. Just set yourself up for success. Don't try it on a day you got a lot to do or you're
Yeah.
tired or you had bad news or whatever. Don't do that to yourself. And this is
Okay.
going to take a little while because it's pretty in depth and he's spent a lot of time learning these behaviors. It's not going to happen overnight where he's going to unlearn them.
Right.
But once you see it work a few times and you do it 3 times where you have to remove them from somewhere or you have everybody else walk off or whatever, it's only going to take a few times of that big thing. It's about the consistency.
Right. Like she's not playing anymore.
And
Exactly.
she doesn't give in one time because she's tired and then not the other time.
Hmm.
This is how it's going to be. With
Yes.
love.
Of course.
I love you, buddy, but I'm not putting up with your crap. I mean, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a
Well,
good mom. I wouldn't be showing you I love you if I let you talk to me like that.
that's true.
Like if I let you talk to me like that, I'm showing I don't love myself.
Yep. That's true.
That's more
Well,
the approach than bend you over a knee.
yeah.
I mean, punishment is like, well, in the behavior world, punishment is neither good or bad. Punishment, the definition of punishment is anything that stops the behavior. So
Okay.
it doesn't necessarily even mean it's bad. Like if you do something good and it stops the behavior, that's considered like a consequence of punishment. It could even be something good. Um,
Okay.
so punishment, throwing someone over the knee back in the day, if it worked, it was effective. That's why people did it.
Yeah. I
It
got my butt
doesn't work with
spanked.
our boys. It doesn't work with our
No.
boys. And scientifically, we know a lot more about the emotional life of people and how that impacts their behavior. So we know that it just causes more. It causes, especially when, our behaviors for connection
Right.
and then they can't trust the person that's supposed to protect them. Right.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, so in the long haul, that doesn't work. The other thing, it's like whack-a-mole, something immediately might work, but it's going to crop up somewhere else because you didn't really solve the problem.
Yeah.
So you can put a control band-aid on it, but you're not really fixing the need.
Fixing.
You got to figure
Right.
out the need and fulfill it in a
Hmm.
more appropriate way. They're just
Yeah.
trying to get a need filled in an inappropriate way.
Yeah. I
The
agree.
video game thing is tough. Video
Ugh.
games can be great for our boys.
Well, it's all he
So,
can do, really. I
yeah,
mean, he can't ride
it
his
can be
bike.
great, and it can be a great social outlet. Even I gotta tell you, even yelling and screaming profanities at the thing, um, I'm not saying everyone should do this, but I did my kid did that too.
Hmm.
I did start making a safe circumstance for him to do that in because what I found was there was no other way in his life that we were allowing him to get his anger out. Because it's
Okay.
really not, we don't really have situations for kids anymore where we allow them to be angry. We don't. We really don't. They can't be angry in school. They can't be angry with their siblings. If they are angry with you, it's going to trigger you because you're going to feel like a failure as a parent, and it's going to remind you how miserable this is, and it's going to trigger how sad you are for him, blah, 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 right? So he doesn't
Right.
really have anywhere he can be angry. So it might be a situation where you're allowed to do that under these circumstances. Once in a while for only 15 minutes, no one's home, no one's around, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying we want to think about everything unconventionally.
Yeah. No, I'm intrigued. Yeah. I want to.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
what? Like give
what
him.
if that became a reward? Like you can get your
Okay.
anger out and say all the things you're not allowed to say because I understand your life is not easy. And so
Hmm.
we're going to give you 15 minutes to be angry at your game and yell and scream and say whatever you want. And then
Okay.
it's
He'll love
done.
that.
And I would probably attempt that after he's learned how to get off the game. Like,
Got
don't
it.
do that while you're trying to teach him how to get off a
Teach
game.
him.
Yeah, get
Okay.
off a game first. And then once he's pretty good at that, you could build this
Okay.
component in and
Like,
just
I'm
say,
proud of you. Let's also try to work on this, and maybe I'll allow this and this because you're doing so well at this and that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, again, focus on the need. You're yelling and screaming because you got some feelings in you you don't know how to regulate.
Right.
This is a far better way to regulate it than yelling at me
Agree. Yeah. Or at school.
or at school.
Yeah. Can't do that. Like, he's been in school. Yesterday has been a complete 7 days. And I've already had a call from the principal 3 times now. So I'm
Okay.
thinking
So on
it's
that
going to
note,
be a
real
long
quick,
year.
yeah, on that note, real quick, sign up for a one-to-one on parent project with me under school and behavior because I
Okay.
can actually do a team meeting with your school and have a conversation about this.
Really?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I can talk to them about the same thing. You know, they hear Duchenne and they don't realize that a lot of tools they have in their tool chest will work because
Uh-huh.
they're taught these things as a teacher and as admin. Well, admin just isn't the mindset of admin isn't flexibility. So we're going to want to lean more towards the special ed folks because they understand creativity and
Yeah.
flexibility.
I
Okay,
do reach out to her
yeah,
mostly. Like, I didn't even call the principal back. I don't want to do
exactly.
this year. I don't
No,
want you to call
exactly.
me every day.
I mean,
I'm
on a
tired.
side note, does he have an IEP?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with the principal at all. You just call an IEP meeting, but I can help them with a behavior plan. And we
Okay.
can do the same behavior plan I'm teaching you.
Okay.
And I can try to help the teachers see how that looks in a classroom.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay?
Jace had knocked over some scissors off a desk because he messed up on his home or his work. And the way she made it sound was Jace was endangering the lives of other
Yeah,
students.
yeah, yeah.
Scissors
I
were
understand.
flying everywhere. And I'm like,
Well, then
come
she
on.
should probably put scissors away for a while Jace is in her classroom. So we'll talk about that and we'll talk about some preemptive things we can do to set him up for success in the classroom too, because he's probably embarrassed. He feels bad about
Yeah.
his behavior, and this is just getting worse. Because
It's
the worse he
totally
feels
getting
about
worse.
himself, the more this is going to happen. Okay, so two last things, because it's a lot
Mhm.
for one session. I'm so excited you did this. This is how I work best, like just one-on-one. And I've been doing one-on-ones, and that's how this podcast thing started. Was I want to do the one-on-ones and help other people, so I don't have to because I can only talk to so many people.
Right.
Okay, so the two last things we're going to talk about. When I said trying to get what they want, trying to avoid what they don't want,
Mm-hmm.
sensory. So sometimes behaviors, you'll look for a function and you won't see anything that they want, and you won't see anything they're trying to, you're not putting any demands on them. So you're like, why is he acting like this? He's just out of his skin. The way that
Mm-hmm.
we test as a behaviorist, when I go into a classroom or a home and I'm trying to do, it's called a functional assessment, what, and I'm trying to figure out the function of a behavior.
Mm-hmm.
What we'll do, what we've done with kids is, we do a couple tests to see if it's them trying to get what they want, and then we do a couple tests to see if it's demands being placed on them. And if neither of those are really clear to us as the behaviorist, we look at sensory, and the only way we can test sensory is put them in a room where they have no demands and no attention. And if
Okay.
they're still doing that behavior, then it could be sensory.
So are you talking about sensory as far as like too much going on, lights, just little things like that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
sensory has several pieces to it. I am a big person that proposes OT for all of our kids because most all of our kids have sensory integration. If you want
Agree.
to look up sensory integration and start learning, you'll look up sensory diet. And they'll have
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of really cool tricks of the trades you can start doing with him that he may really enjoy, because the object of that is to teach him how to calm down his own central nervous system, how to identify it's out of whack, and how to
Mm-hmm.
regulate it. You will learn while you're doing this, and you will do the same things.
Good. I need it.
Okay? Because when we're in a state of trauma, which you most likely have some of that from all of this, um,
Mm-hmm.
your central nervous system will be activated. You know, people talk about triggers. We,
Yeah.
in the psychology world, we call that activation. It's not really
Okay.
an out, I mean, we're giving the outside thing too much power when we say triggers. It's more just that you're activated. Your central nervous system is activated because it remembers something. It just kind of made your central nervous system remember something that's not pleasant and it's reacting. Okay.
Right.
So, sensory diet, for instance, could be tactile defensiveness. Like, say, our kids will never get their hands dirty, or they flip out when something's on their hands. We would take a mirror with shaving cream and have them play in it, and then we would start getting them better at that.
Okay.
Um, we have vestibular where, maybe they don't even know that they don't feel in balance or in their body, right? So maybe we swing or we spin. We do this with little kids so that we get them back in their body.
Okay.
Maybe we have to roll them up like a burrito in a blanket because that compression feels good. I myself have a weighted blanket that I sleep with because ADHD is all sensory integration.
Okay.
So I have to do a lot of this stuff to regulate my body, you know? So maybe a weighted blanket, maybe a bean bag, like maybe the timeout is in a bean bag that feels like it aligns his sensory system. Uh,
Okay.
whatever he's seeking, like I had when in my master's program, I had a kid that nobody could figure out because he kept like he was hitting himself all night long. He would stay up all night long and hit himself. And so we figured out it was sensory because there was no, we thought it was mom coming in saying something. We removed mom, it still happened, that kind of thing, right? And so
Right.
we actually had to figure out a way for him to get that satisfaction that wasn't harmful. So,
Right.
it could be, for him, it ended up being something weird. It was like this stretchy thing that he pulled, and then he would wake up and then he would pull it a little bit and he'd go back to sleep. So it ended up being a weird, really weird thing. This was a very profound child. So it was a big mystery. Anyway, I digress. So you're going to start teaching him on the side how to manage his sensory system. I always talk to Anthony about it being his body and not him. So my
Okay.
son's 26. We still talk about how his body is sucks and his body's falling apart, but that's not him. He's not his
Yeah.
body. He just lives in it. So what it does is it kind of separates it out. So when his body doesn't cooperate or his body's shitty or his sensory stuff goes on fire, it's not him. You're not talking about him not being good or him being, it's just the body. And then it's easier to manage like, oh, I just got to regulate this thing. I got to
Okay.
regulate this body that I'm in. It's not like me
Right.
being a bad person or me being weak. I
Yeah.
just got to regulate the body. So start
Okay.
using terms like that so he understands there's a difference.
Okay.
Like when, Anthony would be out of sorts, I'd be like, "Oh, is your body out of sorts? Do you feel like your body is on fire? Do you feel like this? Do you feel like that?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." And I'd be like, "Okay, well, let's figure out how to fix that." It just depersonalized it. He's not a bad person because that's happening.
Right.
Because that
Okay.
shame, as you know, is making things worse.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you, sister.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of this stuff going on and he feels it all. He's connected to it all. And so ultimately we heal those around us by healing ourselves.
Right.
So ultimately you have a tremendous amount of power in what his life looks like, how he feels about himself, what's happening. As a mom, you probably think that power is how you're managing him and how you're controlling him. I am here to tell you that the real power is how you're managing you and how you're controlling you and how well you are and what you're doing for him. I mean, for yourself and what you'll tolerate and what you won't.
Right. I'm a hot mess, so yeah, I don't
Right. Understood. I weave in and out of that for 20 years. I get it. I
know.
still do, but now I know how to get out of it real quick.
Right.
So we got to start working on that. And that's another discussion I'd love to have another time. I will leave you with the fact that I will say that, like, watch my episode number 3 on trauma
Okay.
of my podcast. I have it with a therapist who talks about what trauma therapy really is because people use that as a buzzword and they don't even really understand what that is anymore. Okay.
Right.
But for chronic stress, there's some stuff you can do. People in our community, especially, will say, "But I go to talk therapy. Talk therapy doesn't. It's nice. It's nice you have someone to talk to, but um, actually, sometimes that could make it worse because every time you retell that story, you're reliving that experience in your central nervous system. So if you're constantly talking about what's happening, you're just staying in that state."
I talk about it a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
stop
All the
talking
time.
about it. This is an internal. I mean, you can call me and instead of talking about it, I'm just going to tell you what to go do to get out of it.
Right.
That's
I think
different.
more it's me just trying to spread the awareness. Like I want you to know so everybody can talk about it. Just spread the word. Let's all talk about it. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Sure. We can all talk about what Duchenne is. That will
Hmm.
spread awareness. We can even talk about some of the characteristics and the things that happen. But when
Right.
you reiterate your story of trauma over and over and over, you are
Yeah.
living in it. You are choosing to live in it. Now, I say that with love. I know there's going to be someone out there that makes a comment like, "But it's true and it is my story and how can you say I'll be okay?" You do get to choose. And I'm not saying in the beginning because there's a whole grief cycle you're going to go through. And listen,
Right.
I'm in the grief cycle now because we just hit some of the later stages of this disorder.
Right.
Yeah, and I have days
Yeah.
where I am struggling. But I've just had 20 years to learn what to do to get out of it. And at this point in my journey, I don't even call anybody anymore, really.
Wow.
Because I'm not saying I'm some strong thing. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I have to call my Duchenne moms, right? But I know now that my job is to feel it, to lean into it, and
Hmm.
really feel it in my body, and then get out of it.
Right.
It's not to live in it.
That's hard to be where I'm at now, and you've already
Yeah,
been
for
through
sure.
that. I have no idea how you feel at all, but I admire that, you know?
You can get there. That's why I'm doing all this because and it is so special that you have him.
Yes.
It is okay. He is going to be okay. He is not his body.
Hmm.
He is a being that is way bigger than his body. And it sucks that this is the body he got delivered. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm sad for my son a lot too. But the gifts that we have gotten and the people that he's impacted and the higher level that he has all had us rise to,
Hmm.
he's obviously here for something way bigger than fixing his body.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
So I'm not saying we don't got to worry about it. I'm not saying you don't got to be sad about it. I'm saying there's a bigger picture. We want to make
Yeah.
sure that we back up because when we're in trauma, things are very black and white, things are very big, things aren't right sized. So
Right.
as you get well and as you heal that, you'll get able to see a bigger picture. So do I get sad? Do I grieve? Absolutely.
Ugh.
But do I also have joy? Do I also have love? Do I also
Yes.
have a connection to a higher power, a spiritual being, whatever, that puts me on a plane that is completely different than I ever thought possible?
God
So I
damn
can help
straight.
other
Yeah.
people, so I can love my life, so I can live out my true destiny too, which is not just a caretaker.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger conversation for sure. But start looking into, watch that episode. I'm not just trying to make a shameless plug of my stuff, but it does all work together. That's why I'm doing this. Look at that and let's talk about, maybe some trauma therapy you can get. If you don't have insurance that covers it or you can't afford it, you can do one session and just have them teach you a couple tricks. And then you go
Okay.
practice them and then you come back 3 months later and get some more. I mean, it doesn't have to be trauma therapy isn't like talk therapy. We don't just keep going and talking about it. She actually
Okay.
gives you some stuff, there's some modalities that you actually learn so you can get your central nervous system aligned. So you're not
Okay.
walking around in an activated state all the time.
Right.
That's what's happening. And it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, mom.
Yeah.
You know that, right? I mean, I sound like
Yes.
Goodwill Hunting, but I'm just saying, not your fault.
Yeah. No, I know. I know where the grieving of where I'm at, and I've come a long way, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And I know that I'm going to get even further,
You
and I'm
are.
willing to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I do get there and never go back to where I was last year. It was horrible, horrible. So,
But you had to go through it to get here.
agreed.
So make
Agreed.
peace and forgive yourself for all of that
Yeah.
and forgive whatever entity you think put that on you.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of anger there. Maybe still just a tad bit lingering there that I haven't kind of gotten over yet.
Well, it's
But
not, and also think of this as nothing's ever going to go away. It's going to keep coming. It's
mhm,
more about how long does it stay? How easily do I move out of it? How do I hear what it has to say? Like pain is lessons.
yeah,
So you're going to have pain. But are we
yeah,
going to learn to lean into the pain, hear it, figure out what it's trying to teach me, thank it, and then move on? Or are we
yes. I
just going
can't
to
sit in it.
swim in
No,
it, you know?
no. I cannot be that person. I am not that person. So it's just me trying to figure out, be everything that I can possibly be the best. And that's all that I can pray and hope for. And I am trying to do my best. So, yeah,
From my chair of, the 20 some years of experience, I'm telling you right now, you are going to be amazing. You already are. The
thank
fact
you.
that you're curious, the fact that you want to learn, I mean,
Yes.
that's incredible because pain can be very addictive. And our
Mhm.
story as victims can be very addictive. I was very addicted to
Right.
it. My whole identity was Duchenne. My whole identity was my pain because I was terrified as to who I was without it. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
that
such
makes
an
sense.
easy story rather than the one I've had to create. I had to work really hard to become a better person and become a person that loves myself and do all those icky things that are really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's easier to just be, poor me. And
Yeah.
and you have every reason to be. Like you have every reason, like that's the hard part about this journey is nobody's going to argue with you. If you say I'm a victim, this is really hard, everybody's going to go, yeah, you're right.
But you can only play that victim card for so long. It's exhausting.
Well,
I
I
don't have
mean,
the energy.
again, it's like your son's behavior. Is it effective? It's fine. It's neither bad nor good, but is it
Right.
giving you the life you want?
No, that's exhausting. Everything's
Right.
exhausting.
And hey, you deserve more. Are you a carrier?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I remember there's a lot of guilt that goes with carriers, like we gave our kid this. And I don't
I
know
could
about you,
fully
but
understand
I
that.
still have it, even though I'm not a carrier.
Yeah.
Because I still feel that way. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily take that guilt away when you're not. So, you've got that guilt and shame and you've got, a lot of that underlying stuff. You have to start loving yourself and spin this a little bit. I'm not saying be in denial or don't be in reality. I mean, you have to be honest when things hurt. You have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But you also only see things from one angle when you're in trauma. So it's like this could be good too.
Yeah. I agree. I
I mean,
agree.
and it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try
So, oh
that.
my God, I love you. I think you're amazing. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful that you did this. Let's have another conversation someday. Uh,
Yeah.
Thanks for doing Let's Talk It Through. I'm really recruiting to get more people to do this. I'm safe. I won't be mean. I'm going to do this. I want people to give me, if you have any friends or you know anyone that will give these scenarios, they don't have to have Duchenne
Okay.
because it's all the same. From a behaviorist standpoint, it's all the same.
Okay.
Um,
I can think of a few people right now. So
yeah.
I'll give them your
If
information.
they're interested, they watch this episode, they realize it's a safe, they could turn their camera off, they can take their name off. I really don't, it doesn't matter, whatever they are comfortable with. But the idea too is that, I can keep doing this in a public forum where eventually people go, I got the formula, I get what you're doing, I
Yeah.
understand how to put it together. And so it doesn't matter, like I got to where it doesn't matter what the scenario is, I'm going to apply that same thing. And then one last thing, it's gone over, but she's going to clip it and edit it for people who get scared when something's too long. But the other thing I want to say is so connection. I want you to start doing this exercise. Okay, this is called Stanley Greenspan, and it's or the creator of this is Stanley Greenspan. Again, science, not just
Okay.
parenting by Jill. Okay. And they call it floor time therapy because they do it a lot in autism with little kids where you sit on the floor with them. But I
Hmm.
have done it, I still do it with my adult children. So it's just this. So what it is they're seeking your connection. Because you're in a state of trauma, you are not present very often. You're either in the past worried about ruminating on something or you're in the future anxious about something. Very, very rarely are we in our life present. So
Right.
when you spend time with him, the odds of that you're really there are probably slim. Okay. So he knows that and he doesn't feel satisfied from that time that he has with you. So what you're going to do is start setting aside time and start with 5 minutes. You want
Okay.
to build up to like 20. Okay. Start with 5 minutes where you say and you give it a name like special time, mom time, focus time, present time, whatever, because you're eventually going to use this as a reward.
Okay.
Okay, because this is what he's really seeking.
Okay. So
Okay.
just sitting and doing eye
No,
contact.
so you're no, 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 you're going to sit
Oh,
with him. You're going to ask him what he wants to do. Does he play Minecraft?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to use that as an example. It doesn't have to be that, but that was the
Okay.
one I did, which
Hmm.
by the way is brutal, but super effective. So you're going to say, what's your favorite thing to do? Let's pretend he says Minecraft. Unless you can think of something else he's going to, well, let's just do a real example. What's he gonna say is his favorite thing to do?
I would say Roblox.
Okay,
Roblox.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the meantime, I want you to look up on ChatGPT or whatever how to play Roblox, what makes it so addictive. Actually, type into ChatGPT, why do kids love this so much?
Okay.
I tell you why.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, you could do Google or you could go on Roblox website, but we're in an AI era, so let's just go ahead
That's
and use it.
true.
So you can do ChatGPT and just say, why are kids so addicted to Roblox? What do they get out of it? And then start asking it questions. And I want you to learn a little bit about it.
Okay.
Then you're going to say, "Hey, buddy, we're going to start this new thing where we have special time with me. What's your favorite thing to do? Roblox. Okay. So would you like it if I played Roblox with you? Or
He would love that.
would you like it if I watched you play Roblox?
He would love that.
Okay. 5, 10 minutes a day. And you can say, I'm going to start with 10 minutes because mom's got to learn this. Mom's got to figure out how to like this. So
Right.
if you do this, and this today, I'm going to give you 10 minutes of Roblox. Now, when you're playing whatever this is, whether it's Roblox or cars or Legos or whatever the thing is, the way this works is that you have 5 to 10 minutes where you're completely present and you are not in control.
Okay.
You are 100% letting him lead the interaction. Wait till you see how hard that is. When you see how hard that is, you're going to go, holy crap, I never do that. I never let him just lead. I'm always like I remember first time I sat down with my kid with he'd line up Matchbox cars like his
Hmm.
little autistic self, right? And I sat down because the behaviorist said you're going to do floor time, sit down and play with these cars with him. I wanted to show him how he should arrange them for a better world.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because here's why. His entire day is him being forced into other people's worlds, including
Mhm.
yours.
Right.
We want 10 minutes where you will go in his world with him.
He would absolutely love that if I did that. Yes,
So
for
you're going to
sure.
start doing this, use it as a reward. Don't just give it away free yet. Well, that's not true. I change that. Do it for free a few times so he
Okay.
gets what we're doing and you learn how to do it.
Okay.
He's going to feel more satisfied with that 10, 15 minutes than he would feel an hour doing something that you want to do.
Right.
Or something that he's doing and you're telling him how to do it better or how to do it more effectively or when it has to end or why that's not the right one or let's get a better one or are you sure you don't want to do it this whatever. He's
Okay.
100% in charge. You can ask questions, but they have to be questions about what he's doing.
Okay.
They
Good.
have to be questions that allow him to talk more about what he's doing.
Okay.
Oh, why'd you do that? Tell me why you did that.
Well, he's gonna have to
Oh,
because
I
I've never
see.
played.
Well, if you do that, what happens?
Okay.
Oh, gosh, that looks nice. Well, if you do that, is this person going to get mad if you knock their story down or whatever they do in Roblox?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
he'll absolutely love that for sure.
Okay. Then after you've done this a handful of times and you got it, you've built your way up to 15 minutes. I hate to break this to you, but you're secretly going to start liking Roblox.
Okay. I
You
like a little
will.
Mario Brothers, old school.
Yep. And when you're
Class.
open enough to see what he loves about it, it's going to change for you.
Perfect.
It's
I
not going
love
to be
it.
about you anymore.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally see him love enjoy doing this and for me to play with him. He would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs you to do that. He needs you to come in his world. He's being
Hmm.
forced all day to be in ours.
True. Very true.
Okay. He feels really lonely in his world. Nobody's in there with him.
Yeah. I want to be there with
Okay.
him. Yes.
Get in with him for 15 minutes a day and see what happens.
Okay. And then you
It's
said
like
to go to the
it, yeah. And then you can start using that like, hey, we've practiced this restaurant thing. You're so good at it now. If we get through this restaurant thing, then we can go home after and play like 20 minutes of Roblox.
Okay. Yeah. I see that. He'll like
See
that.
how it all comes together? It's all going to come together. And so that's why I don't like the traditional ABA stuff, the discrete trial training. You're only teaching them how to do it in that one circumstance. What I teach is more, we're fixing all of the elements. So eventually they all come together and we're just getting well. You're
Right.
getting well, he's going to get well, the rest of the family's going to be better.
I think it's mostly just keeping our emotions in check, stop the chaos of already life, and then now yelling, screaming, just out of control is what our life feels like. And just to have a little bit of peace and some sort of control of calmness sounds really enjoyable to me.
And,
Definitely.
if he has a really bad day, you could still do the Roblox thing. Don't punish him. Don't ever punish him with the Roblox thing. Ever, ever, ever use it as a punishment.
Okay.
Ever. That's your sacred time. Don't mess
Okay.
with it. That's your
Okay.
connection.
Got it.
So if you
Our
get mad, you might say, I can't do this with you right now. I'm upset. We will do this tomorrow or tonight or whatever. But you're
okay.
not punishing him by taking that away. Don't ever do
Okay.
that. That will do so much damage.
Understood. Got
Okay.
it.
But you can say, now's not a good time, and I really want to be present for you. So
Okay.
we will do it at such and such time. And then you got to go regulate yourself so you're up for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So start with that stuff. And then you can text me along the way and ask questions if you forget. Like, I forgot what you said about this. I forgot what you said about that. And then, let's do this again in a month or so. And
Yeah, I'm down.
let's hear how it worked and what's going on. And then we would tweak it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm totally down. Love it. You're
Okay.
awesome.
Thank you so much for doing this. I just think you're super brave and you're super cool.
Thank you,
And
Jill. I
the fact
appreciate
that you
you.
want to be better at this, he is
Yes.
so lucky. He's so lucky, girl.
Thank you.
So
You're
lucky
awesome.
he got you.
I want to learn all your tools. I'm down.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
going to be great. Well, I want to share them too because it sucked learning them. It was hard, and I want to share them so they don't go to waste.
It's a lot. It's a lot to
Yeah, it's
learn.
a lot. It took me a long time to learn this. I still don't do it right all the time either, right? I still
Yeah.
don't, but I practice and I do my best, and it is way better because I try.
Yeah. Well, you look
Okay.
like you got your shit together, and I admire
All right.
that.
Well, thank you for saying that. You didn't see me
Yes.
yesterday, but
Oh.
yeah, that's okay. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Thank you. All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Hang in there. You can do this.
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you
Okay.
soon. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for being here with me on Talks Too Much. If today's episode helped you see things a little clearer or you feel a little less alone, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget, have faith that struggles you're in will soon be your strength. I'll see you next time.